Hi, I'm here and this is beautiful Drumbaig up in Scotland, right in the north on the west coast, and it is stunningly beautiful on a sunny day. And I just wanted to share something of my own story really with you, and I'm sort of starting a mini series, and this is the beginning really of it, in terms of my journey to becoming I suppose I was going to say a creative person, but the person I feel that God's called me to be, and it's a journey I'm very much still on, but actually I just really wanted to share with you. My own story is that I've got a sister and I've got two very loving parents, and as a child I used to go along to a Methodist church, and I used to go to the Sunday school, and I had a great Sunday school teacher, and I remember listening to all these stories and loving going along and loving the stories that were told. But I think possibly I don't know how much that meant to me in terms of there being a challenge for me to make a personal response, I think. Later on, I was at another church. We went along to a Christian sort of concert, actually, and it was quite a loud, wild concert as a teenager, and I was so excited. And I remember at the end they did a call for people to come forward, and I knew that I should have gone, and I was stood next to my friend, and I bottled it. I knew they were saying, if you feel that God's speaking to you, I think, or something like that, they were saying, if you feel God's speaking to you, it's time to respond and say, yes, I need you to change my life. And I knew I needed it, but I didn't actually do anything at that point. And it wasn't until university that I started being in a place to ask more questions. I think at university you're up for, or certainly in the group that I was in, we were up for asking questions, asking some of those questions to the sort of deeper meaning of life and so on. And a group came round from Campus Crusade for Life, and I remember we asked them many questions. I think they must have invested hours and hours answering some of our questions. In fact, we became, sort of good sort of friends or acquaintances, and we ended up sort of going and helping when they were redecorating rooms and so on. And I remember very, very clearly, one day I went around the house on my own, and the lady, April, her name was, said, "Jen, do you think it's something that you want to respond to, this, the fact that God loves you, gave himself for you, and is that something you want to respond to?" And I said, "Yeah, I think it's time." So together we prayed that prayer. I can remember as clearly as day walking back along that street, and I would swear till today I was at least 6 inches above the ground. I felt like all the weight had been lifted from me, the sin and the weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I felt like not a completely different person, but just all the weight that I'd been carrying had been lifted, and that was amazing. But I think even then I really had only got part of the gospel. I'd got the bit where it said, you have messed up, you can't do any of this on your own, and I got the fact I needed forgiveness. I needed to be to deal with all the messes up that I'd made. But I hadn't really got the second part, I think, of the gospel, which meant that there was a response to this amazing outpouring of love and grace. Shortly after I had my son, I was reading a book by Billy Graham, and he was talking about God giving his son. And suddenly I realised the enormity, the price that God had paid for me. And I suddenly realised that required not only a, yes, please, let's have the present response, but actually a, wow, I give my life, I give what I am response to. And that was that was a real life-changing, transformative moment. And thankfully we had some amazing neighbours. We were on a farm then, and there was the neighbouring farm, and they were a lovely Christian family. And they said, hey, come along, we can recommend this church. And we started going along to a church, and another couple that at that church started taking us under their wing and teaching us some of the basic truths from the Bible. And really from there I certainly started to grow in my faith and in my understanding of God. But I think there were those two key moments where one is I understood I need forgiveness. I need to be set free of all the mess and the fact that I can't do it on my own. And then the other was this amazing God who's given so much for me. I just want to give back to him and just express something of the love that he's poured out on me. I want to express it back and give it back to him. And that's been something of my journey, and my journey continues. But I just really wanted to let you know a bit about where it started, and hopefully we'll continuing this short series. But I hope that's interesting for you, and perhaps I want to challenge you if you haven't made that response, or you perhaps haven't made that full response. Perhaps you've got the forgiveness, but you haven't made I get the forgiveness, but I really just want to give back to you. Then do seek him, do ask him to reveal himself to you. For me, I can honestly say there's been no better decision I've ever made than the decisions I made on those occasions, of the one where I said, yes, I want to accept Christ, I want to walk with him, and then the one where I suddenly realised that I needed to not only just say thanks for the present God, the present of forgiveness and love, but hey, I'm on a journey with you, and I want to walk with you, and I want to love you, and I want to love people for you. That's been an amazing journey. That's me from Drumbaig on the northwest coast of Scotland. Have a great day.